So now we are going to study the three aspects, the analysis part, and we will understand that how we can do these three analysis. One is called central tendency, and second is called the dispersion, and third is known as distribution. So in central tendency, the mean is very important. Median, sometimes we see the median, sometimes with the mode, and sometimes with the quartiles. So analysis of the mean, median, mode, and quartiles comes in the central tendency. In dispersion, we analyze the standard deviation, minimum, maximum, range, and the variance. In distribution, we analyze the skewness, we analyze the kurtosis, and we analyze the normal distribution. So this we are going to study in the next. So first of all, we will see the central tendency, then dispersion, then distribution, and I will take all the three at a time and will explain you the results. I don't think I need to explain what is mean, median, mode, and quartile. All these things, skewness and kurtosis, I will explain in detail because I know that some of you may not have clarity on this part. But so far as mean, median, mode is concerned, I think you are having clarity on that. And standard deviation, minimum, maximum, range, variance is a measure of the dispersion in the data set, and distribution is measured by skewness and kurtosis. So let's see how we can analyze this kind of analysis in SPSS. So let's move to the SPSS, and I want some data. So let me increase the monthly income. I am increasing the monthly income data because I can calculate all the things in this data set. So let me increase the data arbitrarily. Okay, so how many data set we have now? 23,000 and 1 lakh and 987,000. Okay, so we are having 16 figures, 4 more, 34. ये थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हो गया, no problem. Let's take it some outliers also. Okay, so now we are having the data of 20 respondents, and let's apply all the things in the monthly income. So you can repeat this exercise on all the remaining variables. Go to the analyze, descriptive, frequencies, and go to the reset here. Reset means come to the original part, and monthly income take here on the variable side. If you select and click on this, you can change the variables, you can transfer the variables from one window to another window. Go to statistics, quartile we want to see here. This section you can see is for central tendency. We want to see the mean, median, mode, most important. Quartiles we want to see. This section is representing the dispersion. So I click on the maximum, minimum, standard deviation, variance, range, right? Then this section is representing the distribution. So I click on the skewness and kurtosis. So in the same window, I selected some of the measures of central tendency and some of the measures of dispersion and some of the measures of distribution. Let's continue. And now we can click OK to run the analysis. Click on the OK. So all the analysis comes here. The average income is 68,300. The median is 46,000. Median is the value which comes in the middle. The middle value is called median. Mode is the value which is having the highest frequency. Standard deviation is the on an average deviation from the mean, which is 68,217. Variance is the square of the standard deviation. Skewness is very high, 3.6, and kurtosis is also very high, 14.704. And we are having the different values here: minimum value, maximum value, range. So whatever command we gave, we are getting the answers here, right? So let me explain you some of the things. Like we are having the mean here. We are having the mean. The average value is 68,300. The median is 46,000. The mode is 45,000. Mode means the value with the highest frequency, and this is the middle value, and this is the average. So mean is representing the average, and median is representing the middle value, and 45 is representing the value with the highest frequency. So I hope now you have some clarity on these values. Then we examine the standard deviation, which is 68,217. This standard deviation is known as average deviation from the mean. Basically, it is a average deviation from the mean. Minimum value, maximum value, no need to define. Range is the maximum minus minimum, right? So these are the different values we can have in the output. But two things are very important. One is kurtosis and one is skewness. So what is the meaning of that? I'm showing you the meaning of skewness and kurtosis. So first is skewness. Basically, we are having normal distribution like this. Normal distribution is like a bell-shaped curve, and we are having the mean, mean, median, and the mode at the same point in a normal distribution. The concept is, I repeat, the mean, median, mode, if they are same, then the distribution is known as normal distribution. It is coming like a bell-shaped curve, and it is entirely symmetrical. But sometimes what happens, this mean is more than mode, sometimes this mean is less than the mode, and because of this difference we are having a problem called skewness. Like for example, in this case the highest frequency is coming here, so we have mode here, and average may come like here. So the mean is more than mode. In this case, the mean is more than mode, so this concept is called positive skewness. This concept is called positive skewness. Similarly, if we have this kind of graph, and this kind of graph, the mode is coming here, the mode is coming here, the mean is coming here. In this case, the mean is less than the mode, representing the negative skewness, because mean minus mode is negative. So this concept is known as negative skewness. And one thing we should know that skewness value should be less than 1. Skewness value should be less than 1 in SPSS output. So here we have the skewness is 3.6. It is indicating this kind of data. This kind of data we have in the analysis. I'm showing you the graph of monthly income so that you can identify whether it is positively skewed or negatively skewed. So let's make the chart of it, and histogram is the better chart to see all these things. Continue. So I'm clicking on the histogram, and I clicked on the normal curve on the histogram and click OK. So if we compare this graph, okay, so you can see it is a positively skewed data. So the skewness here, it is, so here the skewness is 3.6, which is indicating that this kind of graph in the analysis. So mode is less than mean. So what is mean? Mean, if you compare the mean and mode, the answer you can check. In this case, the mean is higher than the mode. So we are having the positive skewness in this data set. So we are having the positive skewness here, and the skewness is like this. Ideally, this skewness should be less than 3.6. But if I ask you that what is the reason of this skewness, if I ask you what is the reason of this skewness, the answer is that this is the outlier present in the data set. If you remove this outlier, the data skewness value will come down. Let me show you that what happens if I remove this or I change this data set. We are having a very high value in the data set. I am coming down this value to 50, related near about to the mean. So mean value, I'm bringing this value near to the mean. Now after changing this data set, you can see the impact on the skewness, and you may be surprised that after this skewness value come down to very low. So you can see now skewness value is coming to be only 404, and our condition is fulfilled. So this skewness value is coming to the 0.404, and which is near to the normal distribution. So skewness value, if it is less than 1, we can say that it is near to normal distribution. So sometimes what happens, the outliers will make the problem of the to the normal distribution. So right. So let's see the output and graph. So yeah. So if you plot the graph, you can see that it is something near to the normal distribution, and we can analyze. We can take this variable for further analysis. Okay. So now let's clear it and focus on the kurtosis part. So kurtosis is minus 939, and it is minus and 939. So what is kurtosis? Let me explain you first, and then you can analyze that what to do with this kurtosis. In normal distribution, we are expecting the distribution to be bell-shaped curve, like this type of distribution we require. So this concept is known as normal peakedness, normal peak. Now, if I change this data into this type, so we can write this distribution as high peak. And if I make the distribution like this is called low peak. So normal peak, high peak, and low peak, right? In case of low peak, the kurtosis value is minus. If in case of high peak, the kurtosis value is positive, and in normal peak, the kurtosis value is 0. So according to the statistics, the normal peak is known as mesokurtic. In case of high peak, we call it leptokurtic, and in case of low peak, we call it platykurtic. So we are having 3 cases of kurtosis: mesokurtic, leptokurtic, and platykurtic. So whenever kurtosis value comes in negative, it means the spread is more than the normal. It means we are having the problem of low peak. If kurtosis is coming to be negative, this is a problem of the low peak. When the kurtosis is coming to be positive, it is a problem of high peak, and if it is near to 0, we can say it is a normal peak. So ideally, this kurtosis should be, there are 2 conditions of kurtosis. In any case, your kurtosis value should be less than 1, and if it is less than 0.5, it is very good, right? So if kurtosis value is coming to be less than 0.5, it is considered to be very good. But if it is more than 1, if it is more than 1, then it is a problem. So if you collect the data set, you must focus on the skewness and kurtosis and try to identify why we are not getting the proper skewness and kurtosis. Because if you are doing the analysis on a non-normal data set, it is not considered to be valid analysis. So normality is very important in research. Now I'm showing you how to properly check the normality, because we are having some proper tests to check the normality, and sometimes we need to report the result of those tests. So what are these tests? Let me show you the proper test of testing the normality. So come back to the SPSS. Okay, let me check. Yeah. So close the output sheet. We are having the data, monthly income data here, and I want to check whether it is properly normally distributed or not. So I go to analyze, I go to compare, descriptive, and I go to the explore this time. So click on the explore. If you click on the explore, take the variables here in the dependent list, monthly income, and after that, you can see one of the option called plot. This is a very important option. If you click on the plot, you can see this normality plot with test. I want to check the normality with the histogram, not stem and leaf diagram. I just want to see the histogram with the normality test. Continue and okay. Now you will get a very important test here. This test is known as Kolmogorov-Ismendorf test and Shapiro-Wilk test. So let me explain you the meaning of these 2 tests and what exactly we are testing here. So in both the tests, the null hypothesis is that the distribution is normal. So I'm writing here distribution is normal. So we are examining that whether the distribution is normal or not. And what is the rule of testing? If probability value is less than 0.05, not normal. And if p value is more than 0.05, it means accept the null hypothesis. accept the null hypothesis. Now see the p-value. So there are two p-value here. One is Kolmogorov-Ismendorf and second is Shapiro-Wilk test, right? So Shapiro-Wilk test you will apply when your data size is more than 50. And sorry, this is opposite. I write just opposite. Let me write it again. The Shapiro-Wilk test we can apply when the sample size is less than 50, and Kolmogorov-Ismendorf test we apply when the sample size is more than 50. So in this case, in our data set, we are having the sample size of 20. You can see that the sample size is 20. So this test is applicable in this case, Shapiro-Wilk test, and probability value is found to be 0.239. And because this is, since the p-value is more than 5%, so null hypothesis accepted, and we can conclude that the distribution is normal. Distribution is normal. So this is the simple test we can apply to check the normality. So I hope now it is clear how to check the normal distribution, and we have to check the probability value of Shapiro-Wilk, probability value of Kolmogorov, and if your sample size is more, then you have to check Kolmogorov test, and if your sample size is less, then you can check the normal Shapiro-Wilk test. But because in the research we always have the large sample size, so most of the time we have to check Kolmogorov-Ismendorf test, and this value is expected to be more than 0.05 to have the distribution as normal, right? So this is the concept of normal distribution, and after that I am explaining you one more concept that is called outlier testing, right? So let me check. So most of the time we want to analyze that how to check the outliers of a distribution. Suppose I knowingly make this value as 3,50,000. I know that this is an outlier. So, but here I am having only 20 samples, so I know that it is an outlier. If you have a very large data set, so how can we can identify that there is an outlier in the data set? So for that, just go for the analyze, descriptives, explore, and do nothing. Just send this variable in the dependent list and click OK. And in the last, you can see one of the option. In the last, you can see one of the option, and this option is known as outlier test. So in this case, you can see this body and the star, right? So this diagram is known as box plot diagram. This diagram is known as box plot diagram. And how to analyze this box plot diagram? So this is indicating the minimum value. This is indicating the quartile 1. This line is indicating the median. This line is indicating the quartile 3. And this line is indicating the highest possible value, highest value, and anything which is coming as a star is the outlier. Outlier, right? So we can find out the outliers with the help of this box plot diagram. And after understanding the outlier, you have to take some action to solve this problem. Because if you are having the outliers in the study, these outliers will having a significant impact on your results. This is the problem of the outliers, right? So we can find out the outliers like this, and we can analyze, we can remove these outliers. Now, one question which may be coming in your mind, that on what basis the software decide that this is an outlier. So I'm telling you one of the criteria to find out this outlier. Actually, software apply one theorem. This theorem is known as Chebyshev theorem, right? So let me explain this Chebyshev theorem. Chebyshev theorem say that the mean plus minus the standard deviation, like one standard deviation, in this range 68% of the population should lie. 68% of the population should lie. The mean plus minus 2 standard deviation, 95% of the population should lie. Similarly, mean plus minus 3 standard deviation, the 99.7% of the population should lie, right? So this is the criteria. So what software will do? Software will calculate the mean plus 3 standard deviation, mean minus 3 standard deviation, and on the basis of this, the software will calculate a range. Your population should come in this range. So any value which is lying outside this range will be treated as an outlier. So this is the logic of finding out the outliers in SPSS according to the Chebyshev theorem. And any value which is lying beyond the mean plus minus 3 standard deviation is considered to be the outlier. So you have to find out the outliers and treat these outliers carefully if you really want to make your data set or variables normal, right? So this is the concept which I want to explain today.